45 for Roland Jones gives Middlesex slight advantage. Derbyshire returned to Queen's Park in Chesterfield for day 2 in confident mood. Despite Holman's best efforts to salvage the innings, Middlesex had probably left a few runs out there, all out for 251. Derbyshire unbeaten at the end of the day on 28 for none. Shan Masood had scored all but one of those runs, and it was no surprise to see him once again accumulating with consummate ease. Godalming playing second fiddle while the Pakistani opener stroked Roland Jones and Murtagh to the ropes. When Godalming found 4 off Bamber, he'd added 7 runs to the 50 partnership. Masood looked set for yet another landmark score, just one away from a half-century when he flicked Bamber through to Eskenazi. Middlesex with their first wicket, and a big one too. Godalming and Guest couldn't match their departed colleagues' fluency, but ticked the score on nonetheless. The skipper got caught between two minds. He was looking to put the pressure on Walalawita. He came down the track, but only prodded it back to the spinner and departed for 34. Madsen joined Guest and scrambled through as the keeper took a single to move the score to 100. They kept going all the way through to lunch, where they wandered in together up to 134 for 2, trailing now by just 117. Guest slapped Holman over the offside for 4 to bring up the 50 partnership after the break. The hosts' confidence hadn't waned. A single then took the score to 150, a little more than 100 to go to parity now. And this pair wanted to do it themselves, spin punish, the score nearing 200 soon. But it was the swing of Bamber that did the trick. The keeper's defence is beaten, and Middlesex had picked up their first scalp after the break. Madsen ploughed on, leaning into Bamber for his 9th 4 to bring up a half-century scored off 77 balls. Duploy wasn't shy, while Walalawita sent high over the ropes for 6. They were almost to 200 now. That came with another Madsen boundary, Middlesex's first innings score within touching distance. That's where Roland Jones produced an inspired performance and sparked a collapse. Madsen first, caught by Robson for 62. Duploy then followed, Eskenazi with the catch off the bowling of Murtagh for 13. Anuj Dal was deceived by the movement, bowled by Roland Jones for 6, who then had another. Thompson out LBW for a 7-ball duck. Derbyshire now 215 for 7, still 36 in arrears. Mark Watt was Roland Jones' 4th, hopping in the crease and edging through to Eskenazi. Roland Jones sealed his 5-wicket haul. Connors LBW for a 2-ball duck. And soon enough, it was all over. The innings up in smoke when Rees tried to clear the ropes, but only found Holden, who held on. Derbyshire all out for 229. Tea taken with the final wicket. It had all been going to plan for the hosts, but they'd collapsed in a heap. 6 wickets falling for 21 runs. Roland Jones exceptional for his 5 for 45. 3 of Derbyshire's final 5 unable to get off the mark. Middlesex would head into the second innings, enjoying a slender lead of 22. The lead was a small one, but it did ease the pressure on Robson and Stoneman, who set Middlesex on their way, taking the advantage beyond 50. Robson couldn't stick around, leg stump out of the ground as he played on. Rees bellowed in delight at the opener's departure. Eskenazi stuck around long enough to fire off the boundary that took Middlesex beyond 50, but he couldn't do much else. While Stoneman was firing Watt over the ropes for 6, Eskenazi couldn't get going and fell to Watt, flicking a catch to the hands of Madsen in the slips. He'd watch on from the sidelines, as with a tame shot for 1 into the offside, Stoneman went to 50 from 65 balls, Middlesex closing in on a 100-run lead. When Robbie White departed for 13, caught behind off Dahl, the lead was now 117, but Derbyshire looked pumped up. Time was called on the day soon after. The score remained the same. Bamber, the night watchman, strolling off alongside Stoneman. Middlesex will be the happier of the two sides, but Roland Jones showed Derbyshire that there are wickets to be had on this surface. And with some early scalps on day 3, the visitors could even find themselves in some real trouble.